Good evening, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Black History Month.
Yes.
Please
Yes.
excuse my vocals today. I had a great time. I had a great Friday night. Woke up yesterday completely void of voice, but I think it's coming back. Today's reminder: Sojourner Truth, though not remembered primarily as a mother, fought fiercely for the freedom and future of her children, including successfully suing to get her son back from slavery. A powerful example of Black motherhood rooted in protection, courage, and advocacy. Wishing you all a peaceful evening and a grounded start to your week ahead. Hey, y'all. What's
Hey.
happening?
Good
How's
evening. Good
everyone?
evening. Good evening.
Wonderful,
Evening.
wonderful.
Good. Stephanie had off last week and had snow and ice. How was your
Yes.
last weekend?
I'm still trying to recover.
Lord, listen,
I'm
I
still
want
trying
to
to recover.
the greatest 3 days of my life. I sat here um, with that snow and ice on the outside, but
Hmm.
inside it was just warm and it was cozy and it was all the things that I needed 3 days off in the snow and ice to be.
Yes.
I guess I was happy to go back to work Thursday, but I was also glad that when I went back to work on Thursday, it was indeed Friday Eve. So
Yes.
I
Yes.
cannot complain.
You could probably blame me for that because God probably knew that's the only way I'm gonna get this girl to sit down somewhere. I'm gonna have to let the snow fall, let it be icy. You can't drive. You can't even barely open the front door
It
without a
was
slip and fall
crazy.
sign outside.
It
So
was
that's what it
crazy.
would take for me to get somewhere and sit down and stay in the house.
And I'm not going to say it too loudly, but I'm going to say it all the same. Texans, where's the camera? Where's my camera? I need you guys to just stay off the road. When it's dry outside,
Right.
y'all don't do well in dry conditions. What makes you think? And just like that, I'm off my soapbox. I just need y'all to stay off the
You can
road.
include us Floridians in that too. We're not accustomed.
Floridians living in Texas, stay off the road, please.
And thank you.
Oh, listen, before we get too far in, we are going to be releasing a show on Thursday that is properly named Coming Back as a Parent. And the theme of that show actually came to me like I'm on this Oprah podcast hard right now. And
Mhm.
so I've been watching the episodes, I've been sharing them with y'all. But one episode in particular was an episode about children, adult children, who are choosing to be estranged from their parents
Mhm.
for whatever those reasons are.
Mhm.
There were adult children on the panel, there were parents on the panel. Some of the parents got it and did what they had to do to be back in relationship with their children. They had some acknowledgement that they had to do, some self awareness that they had to tap into, um, so they can try to see from the eyes of their children. But more so, they wanted to be in relationship with their children by any means necessary. There was one mom on the panel, and you could just tell that she just plain didn't get it. Well,
Mhm.
I've tried, and well, I tried this, and well, she's just spoiled. Well, if she's just spoiled, tell me, dear, who
How did she
spoiled her?
get there?
Who spoiled her?
Uh-huh.
How did she get
E-
there?
Either way, it's some accountability that has to be taken. But I
Right.
also know that this is a sensitive subject for
Yes.
parents who
Yes.
stand on business by saying, "I did the best that I could
Yeah.
with what I had to with." And it's understandable. But in
Mhm.
you
But
doing
it
the best
doesn't
that
stop
you
there.
can, and you're
You
doing the
can't
best
stop
that you
there.
can. You cannot invalidate what those children's experience of you were. Bless you.
Thank you. Excuse
um,
me.
because of that, I also want to name clearly that neglect and abuse are not the only forms or the only ways that harm shows up in parenting. And for a lot of parents, well, I didn't neglect them, I didn't abuse them. What are they talking about?
Because
So
neglect and abuse isn't always physical.
and that's what I want to get clear on before we release Thursday's show.
Mhm.
So this isn't about blaming parents. It's just about acknowledging the impact alongside the love, because the
Mhm.
love
Right.
was absolutely present. I don't even think that those children are taken, away from the love and away from the intentions, but the road to hell is paved
Right.
with good
Right.
intention.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So for this conversation, it's going to be important for us to say out loud the ways that harm shows up. Some of those ways are like emotional unavailability, chronic criticism or comparison. You're nothing like your
Mhm.
brother. Like, I've had educators do it to my sons. Like, they are night and day.
Mhm.
They
Yes.
household. That's who they are. That's who they are. What y'all want me to do with do with that? Parentification, where we are sometimes making children responsible, emotionally responsible for our shit as adults.
Mhm.
Children may feel like they were conditionally loved, where
Mhm.
we felt like we were given unconditional love.
Mhm.
Silence when comfort was needed.
Yes.
Like, I'll let them figure it out. Well, they didn't need to just figure it out. They needed you in that moment. One of the examples from the Oprah podcast, the dad was saying that when his daughter came back to him, she said to him, "Dad, you are a helicopter parent."
Mhm.
And I am absolutely guilty of being Johnny on the spot. Like,
Mhm.
whether to
Mhm.
fix, whether to repair, whether to reroute, I was Johnny on the spot. So, not about labeling parents as bad people, because we know that's not the case. You can love your child deeply and still pass down pain that
Mhm.
you never
Mhm.
had space to heal. Both can
Right.
be true. It's a both and, not an and or. I want to talk
Mhm.
about relationships with mothers and daughters. Those relationships can be tricky, whether it's the expectations or projection or strength that is praised more often than softness. There's y'all daughters. I'm a daughter myself. I'm saying y'all, but we're taught to be resilient well
Mhm.
before we're taught to be heard.
Mhm.
And then the most difficult of them, and I speak about black people because I've had a black ass experience all my life, so I can't speak to nobody else's experience, but the relationships that black mothers have with their sons.
Mhm.
The amount of emotional support that they put on their king while they're raising them.
Mhm.
Because you are a woman, you feel like you have to drive in a relationship with your son as fear.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And most of all, uh, the emotional dependence, because before long they've got to go out into a world where their mama don't exist
Right.
in those spaces.
Right.
And
Mhm.
then as a culture, the culture explains the behavior, but it doesn't excuse the harm. So acknowledging these dynamics, it isn't betrayal. It's an invitation to do better with what we know now.
Mhm.
So I want to ask, looking back, what behaviors were normalized in your household that you now recognize had an emotional cost, even if they weren't abusive?
For me, it was being a helicopter parent because that's what my mom was. I used to describe my mom as someone who could suffocate you with her love. Like she
Mhm.
loved me so tightly and so closely, like it was a vice grip. There was
Mhm.
no escaping it. There was no getting out of it, around it. And it was good until it wasn't,
Yeah.
because it made her very passive about certain things. It made her, not be as stern as she could have been with me,
Mm,
as
Mhm.
attentive to what I needed instead of what she lacked in her own childhood, trying to give me that,
mm,
not seeing me as an individual, but seeing me as um, an opportunity for her to give somebody what she never had, when that
mm,
may have not been what I needed. So
mm,
I
Mhm.
learned moving forward, um to try, and I didn't always succeed, but there was a lot of times that I found myself being aware of the fact that I needed to give my children what they needed. That mean I need to know what you need from me. What is it that you need from me as an individual? Because I could do I have the potential. And if you don't tell me, I'll end up repeating the cycle. I'll end up
mm,
giving you what I didn't have. And and because of that, a lot of my decisions about my children were based on fear. I was afraid,
Mhm.
so I became that helicopter parent out of fear. Like, what's going to happen to you if I don't, you know? But that's my perspective on it.
what about you, Coco?
Well, Rhythm, mine was total opposite. My mother taught me how to write checks. She taught me how to go buy groceries. She taught me how to cook. She taught me how to do all that because guess what? She was working.
Mm,
So daddy was in the military. Daddy was gone 90% of the time. So it was just me and my sister. So I was more of the parent for her, um, growing up. And so in raising my girls, which I have two daughters, um, because I only, my sibling, me and her grew up, we're 4 years apart. My girls are 5 years apart.
mm-hmm,
Um, I did not make my daughter, my oldest, parent that youngest. I did not do that. Um, because of the simple fact of how I was raised. And I didn't
mm-hmm,
like it. I
Mhm.
didn't like it at all. And it caused some trauma for me that I'm recognizing and having to deal with as an adult,
mm-hmm,
So that's a lot to say out loud.
Mhm.
So for me, it was a little bit of what you experienced with your mom. I was raised by my grandparents, so I was doing a lot of those things: check writing, bank runs, food shopping, managing checkbooks. I never had to take care of the other children in our house. Like there were some younger than me, but my grandmother took care of them all. And we recently had a conversation about our soft girl eras, and my soft girl era was from 0 to 18. Like,
Mhm.
they made it possible for me not to know what maybe could be benefited from laboring, because in our house there were traditional gender roles. There were things
Right.
that the girls and women did, and there were things that the men in the house did. So
Right.
now, as I'm coming into adulthood, like I'm not doing carry what a case of water where you want me to carry it to.
Mhm.
I'm not going to do it, but I understand and recognize that for some people that looks like a weakness,
Mhm.
and I don't
Mhm.
care how people perceive it, but I know that there was a cost associated to two things: me growing up way too fast.
Mhm.
Like I didn't care about the bank, but them people knew me by name when I walked in there.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yep.
They knew me by name. And then the other side of it is today, the things that I refuse to do
Mhm.
because of how I was raised. Like, I'm not taking out trash.
Right.
And if I'm speaking to a partner in relationship, well, how else is going to get out? somebody gonna have to get somebody else to do it.
Get somebody else
Get
to do
somebody
it.
else to do it because I'm not gonna do it. But there is a cost associated to both things, and I think if they translated into motherhood for me, it was that my kids wouldn't be as responsible as I had to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They would get the leveled amount of responsibility because I still recognize very early that I was never raising them for me,
Mm-hmm.
that I was raising them for the world. So they got the
Mm.
leveled amount of responsibility. It wasn't too much, wasn't too little.
Yeah.
Probably could have been a little harder on some things that I let pass.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, and even she was doing the best that she could. I knew that. I know that today. And it was just so fucking normal. It was just so normal. How did survival shape the way you showed love?
Ooh. Ooh. For me, survival, it shows up very angry,
Mm,
very strong, very I got this, very I don't need anybody. Um and until recently it showed up as I have to protect everybody and I have to show up for everybody. And it 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 was tiring,
mm,
tiring. And you talked about soccer era. When yours was 0 to 18 was your soft girl era? I haven't had mine yet.
mm.
Okay. So I'm still in survival mode, I feel like.
Sheesh. Stephanie, I seen you take a deep breath and release at the tail end of that question. What you feeling?
um, I was feeling like learning to examine myself and see what that question made me feel because I've never been asked, but I realized that the way survival showed up in the way I show love is overcompensating, you know, feeling like, y'all ain't gonna do this to me.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Feeling like love was something that had to be earned,
Mm,
like you had to deserve it. So you had to work for it. So it was a lot of effort put into being loved and loving. Like for for me to receive it, like if you told me you love me, I needed to know why. Like, what did I do? Like, what made you love me? Because it has to be something I'm doing or something because you don't just love me for no reason. Like,
mhm,
who's deserving of that? And this was even being a Christian, feeling like serving God was work. Like he loved me because I was living right, because I was doing this right, or I did that right, and blah 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 blah. So there had to be reason. Um, Totally missed the mark because it had nothing to do with that. It was just because he loved me, for God so loved the world. um, so I that showed up like that for me. Like it had to be earned, it had to be deserved. And then on the other side of that, for me to show you love, I had to be doing stuff for you or buying you something or giving you something. And don't you see how much I love you? Look at all that I do for you. You
Mm.
know, look at how I give you, look at how I provide for you, look at how I take care for you. Don't I show up every time you need me, blah, blah, blah. And baby, that's exhausting. That's tiring. And
Yeah.
then to feel like if I don't do it, you're not going to love me. So how do I revert? How do I change? How do I allow myself to change?
So if I hear what you're saying even in your parent-child relationship, you felt like through them also you had to earn love.
Yes.
That's deep. That's
Yeah.
deep. That's
Yeah.
deep.
And
Shit.
it's just been my son is 23 and my daughter is no, my son is 24 and my daughter is 34. And still until recently, within the last few months, I've come to this realization that I don't have to. I don't have to, that I can not rescue them, not save them, and they're still going to love me. And I'm still worthy
Anything.
of that love, you know?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So, yeah,
Mhm.
because up until
Ooh.
now, I was still running behind them with a shovel, digging them out of every hole they fell in, you know?
Yeah.
Two-part question. So, how do Black mothers and daughters begin to untangle the strength from emotional distance? And then also, what emotional labor do sons absorb in mother-son relationships that often go unnamed?
Could you repeat that first part?
Yeah, we'll do one at a time. How do Black mothers and daughters begin to untangle strength from emotional distance?
Okay.
I have
Untangled
two
strength.
daughters,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and they're total opposites. One is an emotional ball of every emotion you can think of, those that aren't even, labeled yet. And then I have another one that don't have a drop of emotion at all. But they both have these strengths that are unfounded. Um, but I think the best way between a mother and daughter is to have a very open line of communication. Um, Not being able to talk is the ruin of any and every type of relationship. So that open line of communication, whether that's verbal, written, um, hell, act it out for me. I don't care. Just talk to me. Tell me. Let me know what you need from me. You know,
Mm,
but it is hard because I've been through that, emotional struggle with my girls at one point or another in our lives. And you think that you're easy to talk to. You think that you gave them that open door, that key to even get in that door. Hell, it don't even have a knob on it. Just push it. Just come in that door and talk to me. And they haven't at one
mhm,
point or another. They haven't. Um, well, I didn't know how you was gonna take it. You can't, you know, you talk to them, you tell them, hey, come talk to me. But it's up choices. That's another thing. They have to want to have that too with you. So
yeah, yeah. Symphony.
um, for me, both my children know that I have a open door policy, and they have never had a problem coming to tell me anything. Some stuff I didn't even felt like I didn't even want to
Lord
know. Like,
knows.
honey, wait a minute, give me a second. This is too much. But I love that about them. But at the same time, my daughter can sometimes be a basket case when it comes to her emotions.
Mm,
Like, they can be all over the place, and I'm the one who has to be understanding, sometimes be quiet and just hear her out and try to hear what she's saying, what she means by what she's saying. And like
mm,
Coco was saying, it's that being able to communicate that and understanding sometimes that may be hard for her. Because I feel like be- between the two of us, I'm the stronger communicator. So it's like, I'm like, child, why is this even affecting you? Why is this bothering you? You know, I'm strong in that area. So, and she's falling apart in that area. So I have to not be emotionally distant, which I want to be at times. Because I'm like, girl, I'm not going to get wrapped around your axle. You're not going to pull me in. But being, being emotionally present for her, but still remaining strong for the both of us, you know. So
So I've got a 31-year-old daughter, and at some points in our relationship, she not mine biologically, but I've been in her life since she was 4. And there were some really, really difficult points in our relationship. And so each time I decided, like, I'm her mom, so whatever
mhm,
this looked like, however ugly it get, whatever the exchange was before, it's like you got to clean slate it and start from a clean slate. Now she's had clean slates and she came right back for it. Like whatever
mhm,
it was to take us out of relationship, she would come right back for it. But then I think at the end of my day, it's just taking account for how I maybe added to
mhm.
our discord and giving it a blank slate. I'm not holding on to any grudges. I'm not bringing anything into the blank slate that happened before we cleared it. And time and time and time again. And right now, like what we have is it's sticking. And
Yeah.
it didn't always stick, but I knew if it was going to happen, that it was going to have to be me
Mhm,
because she a
Mhm.
child, 30,
mhm.
31, she
Right.
a child. So if it was going to be, it was going to be from me, and I couldn't go in with the happenings of yesterday or the
Right,
perceptions from yesteryear. Like
right.
I just until she could get on the program and then allow me to get on her program to where we can fluctuate and do well together. So I would just say time.
Mhm. I can
You also got
definitely go ahead.
you just got to be aware that it is also of the essence in some
Mhm.
cases, you know what I mean? For
Yeah.
some of
Yeah.
us mothers, I think Coco said it last week, like I got more years behind me than I got in front of me. So intention, time,
Mhm.
and just a little bit of space. And I think all things can
Yeah.
come back together under those conditions.
Yeah, they can be resolved.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, sons, what emotional labor do we give our boys, or what emotional labor do our sons absorb in that mother son relationship that sometimes go unnamed?
Go ahead, Rhythm. You go first.
I can say, absolutely. Like, I have to tell my young son, like, it's okay. Like, you ain't got to be Johnny on the, like, I think he stepped into, or he felt like he wanted to step into the role of what his father did when we were still married.
Mhm,
Mm.
I can remember when I was moving out of the marital home and I made a Walmart run to get shit set up in my new spot. And I'm just dumping stuff in the cart, just dumping stuff in the cart. We get to the cashier and I walked away because I needed to grab something else. By the time I came back, he was swiping his card.
mm,
Well, no, dear. Like that's never been your role, but I think because he saw how his father and I functioned in marriage, I think he felt like because this was going to be something new for me, something new for them, that
mhm,
he had to step into that role. My
Mm.
oldest, yeah, it was crazy. I'm like, but no, we're not going to ever do it this way. We can't do it this way because that's
right.
not what you're responsible for. Um, my oldest, bless his heart, he want to give me so much grace. He want to give me so much grace, but so much grace, I feel like almost to his detriment.
Mhm,
I think he feels like if he says to me what his experience truly was, that there could be a fallout from it. He fears that it could be a fallout from it. And I don't want him to be scared of that because things fall apart all the time,
Right.
but they can come back together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like you were talking about with your daughter. You got a clean slate. Nothing is
Right.
fine.
That's it. That's it. And that clean slate can be for me, could be for him, could be for the both of us. But sometimes things have to fall apart
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
come back together.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like they ain't never been my boo, my babe, my king. They were princes
Mm-hmm.
in a house that was led by a king, and they
Mm-hmm.
were always clear about that. They weren't
Mm-hmm.
never sexy. I don't know what that phenomenon is. I don't know what that is.
At all.
Um, it was never anything like that. It was a mother-son relationship, but because how I was, and there were certain ways I was in their lifetime, emotionally, mentally, and they not we don't give children enough credit for the things that we may be going through, that
Mm-hmm.
they see, that they feel,
Mhm.
that in some respect they can mirror. So they watch me go through, and I'm sure they sponged a little bit off of it. But in this season in their life, and these next chapters of their lives, I don't want them carrying it with me no more. They don't
Mm-hmm.
have to. They never should have had to carry it in the beginning, but you know better, you do better.
Yeah.
Yep.
I reassure my son all the time um, what I need from him and what I don't need from him. I don't need
Mm,
you to be that for me. I need you to be my son, you know. And I know when his father and I divorced, um, he bared a lot of the weight of it, like, or felt like it was something he could have done differently for us to be together. And that was heavy for me. So I had to go remind him constantly that that's not your responsibility. And me and your dad's separation had nothing to do with you. There was
mhm.
nothing you did to bring us together, baby. There was nothing you could do to keep it from falling apart. It
That's
was
it.
what it was. And what you thought was the reason, because he thought he was the reason, like something he did or something he said or did not do. If I hadn't just did this or if I had just done that, then y'all would have been. I said, baby, and that, I guess that goes to um trying to keep things from our children, you know,
Mhm.
not letting them know, what's going on in the family, and divorce being a surprise at the end of the day. Like, what happened? Like, y'all were fine, but no, baby, we weren't fine for a very long time, you know.
Mhm.
And what you did had no bearing. Like that
Right.
that that wasn't even the tip of the iceberg, you know.
Yeah.
um you got to see all the way down to what's hidden under the ocean. You be seeing this little tip of the mountain peeking out of the ocean and think that's it, but there's a whole lot of stuff at the
Yes,
bottom of it that,
ma'am.
Mhm.
that
Yes, ma'am.
people don't see when they go deep. You only see if you go deep. That surface stuff you're not gonna see. So
Right.
I had to let my baby know, baby, this ain't got nothing to do with you, and you don't have to bear the burden or the weight of any of it, because again,
Mhm.
it has nothing to do with you. And I just wanted him to feel that relief. I really pushed that for a while, like almost for a month or so, every day. Talk to me about how you're feeling. Let me know so I can give you the reassurance that you need, that this had
Mhm.
nothing to do with you.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a us problem.
So at this point, what does repair look like when love was always present, but maybe the awareness wasn't? What does the repair look like?
For me, I think it looks like accountability.
Mhm.
It looks like awareness. It looks like doing work. It looks like sitting with what you thought was love, and with your children, and seeing how they may have perceived it, because you thought it was
Yeah.
"that's me out." And they thought, like, again, going back to, but that's not what I needed from you. That's not
Mm-hmm.
what I needed. That's not the love that I needed. You were loving me the way you wanted
You
to
wanted to
love,
be loved.
the way you wanted to be loved. Again, going back to loving somebody, giving somebody what you never had, what you wanted
Yeah.
as a child, what you needed,
Mhm.
what you were neglected of, or didn't have, or whatever. But that's not what that child needs. Scripture talks about loving a person according to knowledge, and when it does, it usually is talking about the woman. Love your wife according to what you know about her. But I would tell anybody raising kids today, figure out your children,
Yes.
Mhm.
to know your children. If you have young children now, get to know them
Right.
individually, individually, not
Right.
like collectively, because two children can be raised in the
Mm.
same home and need something totally different from you. And you may have to
Yeah.
show up totally
Absolutely.
different for that child. Because as much as my daughter needed me emotionally, my son didn't need that from me. I didn't have to be as, present with him for that. He needed other things. So I had to show up for him in other ways.
Right.
My daughter wanted me to come to her. My son likes to come to me,
Oh,
you know? So I don't parent them the same. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it was for me. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it's more of, like you said, sitting in what we thought was love and hearing what it actually was for them.
mhm.
That's going to be the hard part for me. Um, and yes, I will say I did the best that I could with what I knew, but at the same time, I know better than
Yeah.
what I knew then.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
now I am taking accountability for the things that I wished I had done differently.
Mhm.
Not so much as better,
Mhm.
just differently. Because them babies don't pop out with a pamphlet,
Right.
and I have two girls. You have a son and a daughter, and you have to raise them totally different, simply their gender, you
Yes.
know, simply their gender. Your conversations are not going to be anything alike with your son and your daughter when it comes to sex. You got to
Yeah.
talk to your son totally different,
Mhm.
because with your son you got one winky to worry about. With daughters, I got a million and a trillion of them to worry about.
Mhm.
You know, so it's just a different thing. But that like you said, the accountability is mostly it, and sitting in what we thought was, you know love for us or for them.
Mhm.
And I know for a fact that I didn't give, that youngest one what she needed. I gave her what I could give and what I thought was going to fix what was wrong
Mhm.
or
Mm.
what was ailing her, you
Yeah.
know. And they get grown and they tell you, honey,
Yeah. Yeah.
they
Very
will
verbal
tell
about
you,
it.
or they
Very
won't
verbal
tell you
about
and just stop talking to you. And you got to figure out, well, what the hell? What I
it.
do? you
That
know,
Yeah, that's
what I
when the
do?
children need to give us a little bit of grace. You know,
Yeah. What I
be
do?
open to us telling you, we messed up. We didn't have all the
Yeah.
answers. We got it wrong, and it's okay. Tell me what you need from me now, because I can't
Ye
change the past.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
Go
cannot.
back
Yeah.
and reckon that, back then. But tell me how we can resolve the relationship or the situation now. What do you need from me as an adult woman, or as an adult male? What do you need me to, how do you need me to show up for you now?
Right,
Come sit on
right.
my lap if you need to. Come lay your head in my lap. Tell me all about it. I will coddle you. I will
Yes.
hold you. I will caress you. I will try to make up for what I lacked when I didn't know.
Mhm.
Because- Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Finish your thought. I'm
Like you
sorry.
grew, I'm growing. You
Mhm.
never
Right.
get too old, to learn something or to unlearn something. So
Right.
I the same grace, the same measure that I'm measuring, to my son and my daughter, please give that back to me. You
Yeah.
know, understand that I'm here, I'm open. Tell me, don't have any reservations about telling me where I got it wrong, because I'm not perfect. And I don't think I was a
Mhm.
perfect parent at all. Um,
Nope.
so if there's anything, and I would tell any child, if your parent is open to hearing you, listening to you, then talk to them. Talk to them before
Yeah.
you become a strange child, like you were talking about with those young children, not adult children on Oprah, just
Mhm.
cutting the family off, cutting the parents,
Right.
never talking to
2,
again.
3, 7 years.
Years,
Yeah.
Like, I
years,
could
Yeah.
not imagine. I could
and not
not
talking to your
imagine.
grandchildren and not having a relationship with your grandchildren because
But the flip side to that is too, like, if a child has become estranged, there is a valid reason.
yeah,
And
yeah,
as parents, we don't get to tell them
How
whether or
that
valid
your
not
it
it
is.
was
reason
valid.
that your reason ain't good enough for me not to see
Yes.
my grandbabies. I just like you when you were parenting, you felt you did all that you could to protect. Now I'm a parent, I'm gonna do all that
Hmm.
I can to
Hmm.
protect. But I think you
Right.
said it, I think you hit it on the nose, Symphony. Validation, acknowledgement, aware validation, awareness, acknowledgement, and then doing the work to change the relationship.
Hmm.
Mhm.
And that don't look like one conversation. That don't look like a dinner. It may look like many little things that get you to the finish line, but you have to be committed to getting to the
Yeah.
finish line. I ain't telling you
Right.
to get beat up on or take the abusive language for your children or be even made to feel guilty because I don't parent from a space of guilt or
Right.
shame.
Right.
Right.
It was what it was. I did what I could, but like you said, I can't go backwards.
Right.
Mhm.
What do you need it to look like today? What do you
Right.
I apologize in the most sincere way from
Mhm.
how you experience me, how you experience childhood. If
Mhm.
I unknowingly or knowingly passed on any of my traumas to you,
Yeah.
but we can't go backwards. And I think that is like the stepping stone right there. We both have to be open to
Mhm.
moving in a forward direction.
Yes, ma'am.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
So love alone was never the issue. Survival shaped how we showed up or how love showed up. And today we're grown enough to hold both truths at the same time. You can honor the sacrifices and also name the silence. You can
Mhm.
respect the struggle and acknowledge the impact. You can love your parents and grieve what you didn't receive. This
Mhm.
conversation isn't about blame, it's about clarity because healing doesn't ask who failed, it asks who's willing to see. To the parents, reflection is not erasure. To the children, your feelings are not disrespect. And to everyone doing the work of repair, choosing honesty over ego, connection over comfort, that is love evolving. This is
Mhm.
Ashes and Influence. We don't deny the fire. We talk about what rises after. We'll catch you guys after the smoke clears.
Bye.